Beyond Proficient, a new series focusing on getting you out of your comfort zone.
I am so not into the idea of going swimming today.
Challenging your flying skills.
If you're not comfortable, of course, go around.
And doing it safely. This doesn't replace flight training, but it's a great way for you to mentally prepare for your next adventure.
Catalina Island, a 75 square mile rugged piece of land just 22 nautical miles off the coast of Los Angeles.
26 miles across the sea, Santa Catalina is awaiting for me. Santa Catalina.
It has been a Hollywood landmark for more than a century and a bucket list item for pilots since the airport was opened. Starting at Zamperini Field in Torrance, we're going to fly the short hop over the San Pedro Channel to the airport in the sky. We'll aim for the Isthmus, where we'll find two harbors, one of only two towns on the island. We'll take a right and cruise along the west end of the island to take in the views before looping back around over two harbors and entering a right downwind for runway 22 on a 45. Landing has its own challenges, but we'll address those along the way. This airport isn't a huge undertaking, but there are small details that can quickly add up. And there are a series of factors that can make this airport more challenging than an everyday 3,000-foot strip. Join us as I take pre-check ride student pilot Soy LaFleur there for the first time.
You're ready, I'm ready. So we'll do a right. We're going to request our right 270 departure. Okay. We'll just keep climbing the whole time. And we'll look for Catalina once we get up there.
Cessna 660 Sierra Papa, your right 270 departure is approved. Wind calm, runway 29 right, cleared for takeoff.
29 right, clear for takeoff for 660 Sierra Papa, thank you.
Alrighty, finals clear.
All right.
Lights, camera, action.
All right, here we go. Lined up on the center line and full power.
Oh boy. I am so not into the idea of going swimming today. Our oil pressure, oil temperature's looking good.
Yeah.
Cool.
When flying over water, no matter where you are, you should constantly think about what you're going to do should you have engine trouble. Here's our halfway point. If anything happens to our engine now, we can't make it back to the mainland. We're committed to landing somewhere at Catalina.
Should we level off at 6.5? What do you think? Higher?
No, I think we can level off because we're actually going to start descending in like a mile. So.
Okay.
Today we'll be within glide distance of land for the majority of the flight, but when we're close to Catalina, we only have 3 options for a forced landing: the airport, 2 harbors, and the ocean. Regardless of altitude, it is a good idea to have personal flotation devices on board, and in our case, it's required.
It's pretty cool that there's a place like this so close to Los Angeles. We had to plan our fuel, right? Because we know that there's not fuel here.
Yeah.
We know that there's not maintenance here. We got to prepare ourselves for like the right traffic that we're going to do and stuff. It's a shorter field, but not a super short field, but there are lots of challenges about this place that once you're proficient at coming here and proficient at like using the skills to come here, it opens up the world to you.
This really is the application of so many skills in one spot, right? This is a great pre-check ride, sort of let's see where you are, let's test how you're doing, let's apply all of these skills here.
Once you practice and like get good at flying here, there's so many more places you can go and you're going to feel so much more comfortable going into those more challenging places.
What I'm hoping you get from this is the confidence to be able to assess a new place like Catalina, and the confidence to try to go new places, but do it safely, and to know what to look for, to know what's going to be a potential hazard, to apply these lessons to like you're flying from here on out. Hopefully this is like a confidence builder that shows you what you can do with a little bit of homework, a little bit of research, a little bit of instruction.
All right, so can you see the airport right now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, sweet. So once we get a little bit closer, we'll start descending. What's our TPA?
Traffic pattern altitude is 2,600.
Cool.
So we only need to descend about 1,400.
Are you feeling nervous about the approach or excited or?
I'm feeling excited. I mean, it's nice to go with someone that, that has been there before. Definitely.
You ready to do a go around if we gotta?
Yeah.
Cool. So right about here is good, and we'll basically just head on a 45 for the downwind right now.
All right.
Something about coming to a place as beautiful as this is it's so easy to get distracted by how pretty it is. That's obviously a factor.
Definitely something you said that stuck with me was easy to get sidetracked when you're coming to a place like this. It's beautiful. I mean, it was so nice. I just wanted to continue looking at it, but I'm flying the airplane, you know, so you do have to pay attention. It's a lot to tune out as the pilot. You know, you have to be like, okay, you know, I'm gonna land. I'm strictly here for flying, not as a passenger. I think that's something that I had to tell myself too, because I would have loved to have been like, your controls, let me take pictures, you know? Yeah, but that wasn't the case, so you definitely have to pay attention.
In this case, the distraction is how beautiful it is, but like there are almost always going to be distractions, whether it's the beautiful view like we have here, air traffic control, like a really busy tower frequency, a really busy CTAF, passengers asking stuff, or just any number of things that could be going on. So really good job focusing today, and just always do that in the future too.
Catalina traffic, Cessna 00 Papa, run final 22, full stop, Catalina.
What surprised me was this runway is legitimately on the edge of a cliff, and you take off towards the edge of a cliff. It is what they say, an airport or a runway in the sky.
So anticipate that we might get a little bump here. Okay.
This approach is a perfect example of why you should fly a standard pattern whenever possible. The surrounding terrain and the slope of the narrow 3,000-foot runway can lead you to misjudge the approach if you aren't careful. Pilots flying straight in are prone to be tricked by the illusion of being too high because of the narrowness and upslope of runway 22, leading them to come in almost flat, a hazardous position should the engine hiccup or they encounter a downdraft. The pulsating visual approach slope indicator, or PVASI, is on the east side of runway 22. This single light provides guidance for a 3-degree glide slope and rapidly flashes white when too high, steadily flashes white when on glide slope, which in other guiding lights we typically see when we're too high, making the PVASI unique, steadily flashes red for slightly low, and rapidly red for very low. Depending on the brightness of the day, it can be hard or impossible to see. No matter what airport you fly to, don't rely on a light to tell you you're on glide slope.
A little more power. There we go. See, that's that little sink. Looking good. You got it.
How is the slope? How did that look to you?
Basically, as you're coming down, once your viewpoint kind of comes parallel or in line with the end of the runway, it just gives the illusion like there's no more runway, you know, but so in your mind, yeah, you just have to know like, okay, I still have about 800 feet worth of runway left after that.
There you go, right there, hold it right there, a little more. Yeah! All right, I have the controls really quick. Your controls. Well done! Woo!
On the approach, obviously you did a great job. Your angle was great. You added power at the right times and stuff. The touchdown was really nice. We got stopped nice and quick and were able to get off the runway really quick so that other traffic could come in. On the way out, I think that the slope is going to be more freaky because you feel like the runway is coming up to meet you, which can lead to people like over-rotating and then not letting that airspeed grow quite as quickly as they're used to, and it feels like you're just running on a runway. So again, it's just going to be about discipline and keeping an eye on that airspeed and waiting for the plane to want to fly instead of trying to get it off the runway too early. It can be hard for people to get into aviation without having aviation in their family, but are your family members, are any of them pilots?
No, none of my family. I'm actually first generation American, so both of my parents were born in Mexico, and I got exposed through aviation with Delta. The idea would have never occurred to me to even go through pilot training if it wasn't for being exposed to the cockpit, you know, going up there, asking pilots questions about what does that do, what does this do, you know, and you know, telling me, hey, you know, you should really do a discovery flight. And, you know, me just saying, you know what, why not? I'm going to go ahead and do it. I flew with one instructor up until about February, and then I stopped for about like 4 or 5 months. And then I started up again in about August. Yeah, I've been flying for the last 4 months.
Nice.
Yeah.
So why was there the gap, or like what made you stop?
Financially, I was applying for some scholarships, and I actually did get one of the scholarships that I applied for, which really helped out with the, financial part.
So what scholarship was it? Was it a 99 scholarship?
Yeah, so I applied for their Fly Now award. Is $6,000, and it's basically for every milestone. So it's like a certain amount for your written, for your first solo, for your first long cross country, and then your private.
Are you still using the scholarship now for flight training?
Yeah.
We've flown over the water, we've come in, we've done this difficult approach and stuff. We still have the departure and the flight back to think about. The flight's not over, like we're halfway done and stuff, so this is like...
You still have to take off.
Exactly, and that's the thing that you don't want to get complacent with. We can depart and then just turn left.
Okay.
All right, full brakes.
Full brakes. All right.
And just keep your eye on that, and we'll do a nice gentle rotation. Ready? Full power. Let's rock and roll. Right rudder, right rudder. There you go. Airspeed's alive. Don't start pulling back yet.
Okay.
Because that's the error that people get into. Looking good, looking good. Alright, so now gentle, gentle. Pull back, rotate. Rotate. There you go. There you go. Little nose down, just a touch. There you go. Good. Hey, good job.
Alright.
So that part's almost like more freaky than the landing in a way,
It is, yeah. Hey, the sun's in your face and it looks like there's no more runway. So you want to rotate earlier. I wanted to rotate a little earlier and she caught that. She's like, nope, don't rotate. Not yet.
It looks like the ground's just rushing up to meet you.
Yes. I'm starting to feel like a real pilot, especially as a student pilot. This is a great win to have, even though it's not much of a win, but
No,
it's
it's
still
a big deal. There are plenty of licensed pilots who've been flying a long time who would feel too uncomfortable to go there and wouldn't challenge themselves to get the instruction they needed to get comfortable to go there. So the fact that you want to push yourself to do that is impressive. Yeah, so whenever we get out over the coastline, just take a left and follow it if you want.
All right, sounds good.
26 miles across the sea, Santa Catalina is awaiting for me. Santa Catalina, the island of romance, 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 romance.